Hi, welcome to Outlook. Good to have you along this weekend. I'm Dan Holzman hosting. My guest, Maureen Flowers with Kospia Farms down in Albertus. Maureen, good to see you again. How did the winter treat you? Pretty well, I hope?
Absolutely, absolutely. We've enjoyed the snow. It's been very exciting at the farm. But we were able to dig out of things, and we're back up and running, so a little muddy.
Kospia Farms is what for the uninformed? What do you do?
Kospia Farms, it's a family-owned business that's been around since 1960. The nurseries that the families provided in the Lehigh Valley spanned Bethlehem, Fleetwood, and the Albertus Macungie area. But the remaining farm today is now in Albertus, 26-acre natural farm. We grow trees and ornamental shrubbery as well as perennials, annuals, all kinds of things. But we've made some major changes over the last 2 years.
Yeah, you've gotten a lot bigger. I mean, on the 26 acres, you've gotten bigger within that 26-acre space of land. Yeah. So you're kind of a nursery, but you're more than a nursery, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the heartbeat of the business. So we supply the retail products, and we also do the landscaping. Barry Kospia has been doing landscape jobs in Lehigh Valley for over 45 years. But we really wanted to kind of create more in the outdoor environment and provide the local marketplace an area where they could come and enjoy themselves while they're making decisions about their outdoor living space. So we really wanted to create more of a destination for them and where they can see things in its own environment and get an idea what they need.
You said local, I think, 2 or 3 times in that answer right there, and that's why we have you in, and that is the Life is Better local initiative that I guess you kind of spearheaded at Kospia Farms. Tell me what it's all about. Life is Better local. What do you mean by that?
It's been a journey over these last 3 years. I came off of a corporate role where I flew around the world, and you kind of lose touch with who you are and where you live. But both Barry and I come from families and local communities where the things that seem to be new to everybody today were every day for us. You know, I got on my bike, I rode down the road, and I got my vegetables for my mom, and we got the eggs from the local farm, and we got our milk from the dairy and things like that. And we kind of took it all for granted, and we've all gotten away from that. So we feel blessed to have a farm where we can create products in our nursery where people know that they're going to be able to install them in their homes and they're going to be successful. But what sort of happened over the last few years is as we started to see customers come in and the conversations that we had with them, we let them sort of drive our path and started to meet up with local artists and learned a lot about how difficult it is for them to have a place that they can call home, that they can show their products and just amazing crafts and things like that. So we kind of started out slow and brought in a glass artist from Bethlehem. And then that sort of kicked off, and it's gotten bigger and bigger, and more people are coming on board, and not just in the artist wares, but other B2B kind of relationships with local restaurants, service groups, even other landscape companies and things like that. So we really do believe in kind of sharing the wealth, sharing the farm, giving people a place to just really shine.
And if you go to your website, kospiafarms.com, I think just real quick look, I think maybe about a dozen local business people are associated with what you do, and they're there, and their products are there at least 12 months out of the year, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we've kind of created about 30% of our retail space is dedicated to the local marketplace, and not, definitely the local, but also, U.S.-based companies. So we do also incorporate a lot of other products that are made in the U.S. and high design products, and that was sort of the launch into these local artists as well. So very creative, very one-of-a-kind kind of things, and it's allowed us to expand our season at the store, all through the Christmas season and all year round, really, primarily. So.
Was it hard to get local businesses to buy in and say, I want to be a part of what you're doing, or did they just jump on? It's like, absolutely, I want to be part of because local, really, that's what they're surviving on, local business. I mean, without the local patrons coming in, And the whole local, there is no small business in the Lehigh Valley. Tell us about that process of getting them in and getting them under the umbrella of the Life is Local, Life is Local slogan. He said,
"It's a mouthful." Yeah, that one kept me up for a few nights. I was like, "Local is
great." I could have gotten that one out, but
yeah. So the Life is Better Local umbrella. You got me all screwed up now. That really sort of serves as the umbrella over. Sending that message out to people that they should be buying from local businesses, local artists, local services, whatever it may be. So it incorporates a lot. But at the store, it really focuses down to our artists who are, 365 days a year have their product in our store. Really make an effort to continue to change the inventory. Penny Link does these amazing things with gourds where she creates, different types of products, and some of them are seasonal. So we had a lot of fun over the Christmas holidays with some of the things that she was making. She just came by this last week with some bunnies for the Easter. So I know there's a few people out there that might want to see them. But we're watching them grow their inventory. We're watching them extend their creativeness. Michelle D'Amico, who is our glass artist, she's just a crazy Italian lady, and she is amazing. And you watch these people, what they've done for so long, and then put them in an environment where it's artists standing next to other artists, and we get them together for events and things like that, so that our client base can come in and actually meet with them. But not that they're competitive, but they're inspiring one another. And so you're starting to see them improve. Not that you really thought that they needed to, but the detail and just the new creative products that they come up with. So it's a lot of fun.
Maureen Flowers, our guest with Kospia Farms down in Albertus. I'd say, 15-ish minutes away from Allentown?
Yeah, right near Bear Creek Ski Resort.
Maybe 2 minutes beyond there, I would say. Yeah. So simple enough. Where do you see the Life is Better Local program going in 2016? I know you kind of kicked it into high gear in 2015. I'm sure you have big expectations for this year.
Yeah, more artists seem to come on, and you did ask the question, which I didn't actually answer, is how did I get, we get these people in. There's some sort of thing going on at the farm. We like to call it a really cool vibe. People find us. And there's word of mouth, but within the art community, there's those talking to one another. But they also just, you got to leave yourself open to opportunities, and they just kind of stroll in and not sure exactly why they're there. And then I start talking with them, and I find out that they've got this, great thing that they do. So it's a lot of fun, and so we keep adding on. And over the winter, I've actually added 2 more people that have come on board. The one woman is working with glass, doing stained glass. The other woman is an artist that's creating these amazing bracelets because she's a fabulous photographer, but she's printing the bracelets onto aluminum and engraving special messaging inside the bracelet. So it's just, we don't know what it's going to be, but we just keep adding on. So we're going to continue to do that. The one thing we touched on at the end of the season last year was the music. And the music and the arts is something that's part of me, always has been. My family's very musical. My family's full of artists. So it's been a big part of my life. And being able to spend my days not only out in nature and with animals, but to have music and art be part of it is kind of what's most fulfilling. And so a woman arrived at the farm last fall and brought an opportunity to bring open mic to the farm. So we've kind of committed to that. We've invested in that, and we'll be expanding on that. So that was extremely successful last fall season. We were doing open mics on Saturdays when we hosted our artisan events, and we were just so blessed because people be stopping in from anywhere. We had people coming all the way up from Westchester. Wow. We had a local woman, Madeline, who is a vocal coach, and she brought all her young students in, and this was like right before Christmas, and there was not a dry eye in the house. So we were packed with these amazing girls. It was a packed house, watching, listening to these amazing young girls that were singing and really just, had the strength to get up in front of all of us and perform, and it was just fabulous. So.
When you bring all these small businesses, the local small businesses in, do you hear the same stories from them, or the same issues, whether it's someone making glass products, whether it's someone making seasonal gourds and whatever? Do they all have the same stories like, oh man, we're having issues with A, B, and C, or does every different business have a different problem?
Well, I mean, I think they each have individual challenges, I'm sure, but I think the things that kind of were resonating is, without a storefront, you're relegated to craft shows and, that type of thing, which is an investment for them. Sure. Not only in money, but in time, and you're not sure what the success rate of something like that's going to be. Typically, it's going to have a lot of vendors in one spot to where maybe you won't shine in that big group.
Get lost in the shuffle.
You kind of get lost in the shuffle. So this way, they've got a permanent exhibition, and they get to, like I said, rotate their inventory and really have the time to meet with the customers and explain the value of the things that they create. It's so competitive when you've got people that are going to Bed Bath & Beyond to buy a glass vase or something. That's a difficult thing. But when you can talk to the artist who can explain to you how she created that vase, hand-blown glass, and she just came back from Italy where she went to Murano and sat in a few more. Oh, yeah, she's... Wow.
That's kind of running with the big dogs there a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't really get better than that. So, we're talking about real talent here, and I think sometimes that sort of craft show environment doesn't dumb it down, but it certainly doesn't give an opportunity for them to really expose the value of what they're doing in their art.
You were kind of leading me into my next question there when you mentioned the competition. I mean, how hard is it? Because when people think they want to get, all right, let's say a glass vase, they have 3 or 4 places in mind. Usually it's the one closest to them, the most convenient one. How hard is it for small businesses, local businesses, to get beyond that thinking? It's like, all right, well, I need this. Okay, I'm going to go to the box store in Whitehall. I'm going to go over to Macungie, whatever the case may be, instead of, it's like, I'm going to make an extra 5-minute trip down to Albertus and check out what they have locally made and locally sold at Kospia Farms.
I think it's hard for all of us to break that habit, but it is a habit that needs to be broken. And, not just at our store, but all of the small businesses in the Valley, to make that effort, going to your local hardware store, it's far more important, than going to the big boxes. And I'm not saying that I don't walk into a big box store. Certainly it happens. But we really try to make every effort from a B2B side especially, and also in our personal life, to work with local retailers, local restaurants. I found this great little pet store down in Hellertown, and I think it was one of those days where I did have a few extra minutes, and I was going to go to one of the big box pet stores because I was looking for something specific. Sure. And then I got this memory of seeing one Main Street, Hellertown. I think it's Cat Meow, Doggy Dow, or I hope I got that right. But I took the time. You just have to take the time, and it's not a big store, but the owner's right there, very knowledgeable, and she's made a commitment to her local community by bringing business in. So we got to kind of give back to that, I mean,
there's no question. When you live local, you go into a local establishment, whether it's a local store, a local restaurant, if it's a local hardware store. They don't have to ask 4 different people where a product is. It's like, oh, hang on, come on over here with me. I'll show you where it is. It's in aisle 4, the second shelf from the bottom. That's a huge I mean, let's be honest. Customer service, that's going the way of the typewriter. There's not a whole lot of it out there anymore, and you get more of it when you live local.
Yeah, and I think not only just, I mean, there's a lot of companies out there that provide great customer service, and certainly a lot of people that take it upon themselves to provide the customer service that we want.
You're being very nice. There's also a lot of companies that customer service is 14th on a 12 item list.
Yeah. I think what makes it different, the difference is when you're dealing with a local company where the owners are invested.
It's life or death for them.
It's life or death, but there's a passion. People who start a business because they want to do it, and they believe in it, and they dream about it. And that passion moves on to all those people that work for them and with them. just like the people that we have at the farm. We wouldn't be able to make it a day without, the girls that work at the farm. And there's a passion. So when someone comes into our store or any other local store and you ask a question, you're not just going to get an answer. You're going to get a story. You're going to get an explanation. And you're going to see why it's so important for them to give you that information because they believe in it.
Life is better local. That's what we're talking about this weekend on Outlook with Maureen Flowers of Kospia Farms. You can find out more about what Maureen does every day of the week. Pretty much every day of the year, I would say, at Kospia Farms. It's kospiafarms.com. Maureen Flowers with us. She's really pushing hard for this Life is Better local slogan. The movement in the Lehigh Valley sort of took off a little bit in 2015. Probably going to get a lot bigger in 2016. Maureen and I are back in the second half. Stay with us. Back on Outlook. Good to have you along. Dan Holzman hosting this weekend. Our guest, Maureen Flowers with Kospia Farms down on State Street in Albertus. She is really spearheading the Life is Better local initiative here in the Lehigh Valley. It kind of started in 2015. It's going to kick into higher gear in 2016. The first half, we really talked about how important local is to a local economy. Everyone loves, the big box stores. Okay, they might provide 200 jobs, but no one takes into account the 10 jobs that are accounted for here, the 5 there, and all of a sudden you're adding up to some serious jobs. How vital do you see local small businesses? Everyone focuses on Small Business Saturday after November. For you guys,
very much
every day is
every
day is small business. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
You live it every day. How vital is it, and how underappreciated do you think local businesses are?
I think they are. I'm not sure what that value might be, but they are. I think because everyone's lives is so chaotic, and the construction that's out there and building communities with surrounded by big box development and things like that. It is all about convenience. So we are kind of lost in the shuffle, and Main Street towns I think maybe a little bit easier because you're hitting more than one at a time. But, it's difficult for them, too. And so we try to give as much shout out from one business to another as we can. And, there's certain times a year, like you said, Small Business Saturday, where people might be thinking about it. And so then they take advantage of that, and that's great. And they come out and see us and other businesses. But we're trying to incorporate things at the farm so that we can create something where people will find value to come out and see us on an ongoing basis. So.
The small businesses that are at you are not getting rich off of them by any stretch of the imagination. No. I mean, it's sort of a, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, and everyone wins in the end type of a relationship, right? Yeah,
absolutely. And, for us, the positive is we get more exposure. We get people coming through our door if we actually had a door. We just have some big gates.
You have a gate there. Sure.
Gravel and dogs. And, I can't believe I haven't even mentioned Cuddy because everybody knows me.
It's kind of
we're going to have to talk about Cuddy.
Cuddy's probably going to be a little upset about that.
I know. He's probably listening. But, we love to have people come in, and they come in for varied reasons. And that's why we try to do, the changes that we started making at the farm 3 years ago, we're really kind of creating, like I said, a destination or an experience venue for people. So you can come, relax, enjoy yourself. We have people that arrive at the farm, and they're there for a few hours. We actually lose them. We're not sure where they are. They go for walks. So, and the things that they've said, boy, it'd be really nice if you do this or if you did that, and so those are the kinds of things that we're trying to incorporate. So we're happy if people just come and hang out, because if they enjoy the farm and they're going to tell someone else, then obviously those are things that are going to benefit us. So the same thing with the artists. If I've got people that are coming to the farm to see Linda Osterberry's pottery, to see George Geisler's wood turning, and Steve Strauss shaker boxes, and Paul Hilt's amazing farm tables, they're coming in because of those individuals or because of those products. They also get to experience all of us. and everything that we have at the farm. So it is win-win.
You mentioned Cuddy the dog. I mean, this is a difference between small local business and a huge corporate business that's all over the country. You're not having Cuddy the dog come and greet you at a box store. You're not having Cuddy the dog come and greet you at a mall. Cuddy the dog's coming to greet you. He's the security system at Kospia Farms. No one gets onto the property unless Cuddy the dog says it's okay.
He's very serious about his job.
Oh, yeah, he loves it. As soon as someone comes in, he'll just scamper around like, I think you're worthy of coming in here.
Yeah.
And that's the neat thing about small businesses. I know you walk into a local hardware store, the family pet might be laying on the floor greeting you too. So that's where it's just a different feel when you shop local.
Absolutely. People come, and we're pet friendly. People come bring their animals, take them for walks. We have 6 Watusi cattle and a very ornery horse and some ducks.
The horse runs the place, doesn't it?
The horse runs, yes, she does. Yeah. She's in charge, Ruby. Yeah.
She lets the Watusi know that as well. She makes no bones about it.
Yes, she is. Yeah. So like I said, it's an experience, and that's the joy of the farm. And there's where the music came into play too. But the most exciting thing for us now, coming new season, we grow plants for people to take to their home and plant. And a big part that we started, Megan started for us last year, was seeding organic herbs and vegetables. So the products that we were selling, we had grown there at the farm, and they're all heirloom seed products, and they were beautiful. So great idea on Megan's part, and we were real successful with it. But we're not actually then providing produce. Obviously, it's the plant that you're going to plant at home. But it's something that we really wanted to be able to support. So luckily, we've got a new relationship with Red Earth Farm out of Kempton. This is an amazing small family farm as well. I think it's redearthfarm.org if you want to look it up. Great company, great people. So we will be doing a farmer's market at the farm now on Saturdays starting in the season. So their produce will be available all through harvest time, and that's going to be really exciting. We're also going to have a baker on site, and that's yummy because I've tried the kiffles, and they are the best I've ever had. But Red Earth also kind of has the same philosophy of working business to business and buying local. So they've connected with other local farms that make organic yogurts, farm fresh eggs, milks and cheeses and all these wonderful things. So they offer a CSA, so you can buy into the harvest for the year.
What is a CSA?
Basically, you pay. It's kind of like prepaying for your harvest for the season. You can buy a full harvest or a half a harvest, but it depends on how much produce you'd want to have on a weekly basis. And then basically that's picked for you, and you pick it up. So we will be selling produce at the farm where you can just come and buy produce. But if you sign up for the CSA program, we could be your drop or pickup point then. So if you go online onto their site and then you figure out what you want, then your harvest can be available for you at our farm. And which is a really cool thing because, when you're in the grocery store and you're walking around and you tend to buy, I know I like asparagus. I can recognize that. I know what to do with that. And then there's those things that are kind of around. You're like, I don't even know what that is. Yeah. What do you do with that thing? Yeah. It's hairy or, gnarly looking. But the thing is, we should all be eating that way, and eat what's harvested at the time of the year. So it's seasonal food product, and it gets you in the habit of trying new things. And
do you figure the farmer's market like April-ish, May it starts?
Yeah, I think we're tied in to start, I would say, second week of May, but stay tuned through our website so we'll have an official date, and we'll push that out on Facebook too.
And events to focus on the Life is Better local theme. Yeah, I know you're going to have a lot. You've got a busy calendar at Kospia Farms. Tell us some of what you have planned in 2016, the biggies.
Well, music's going to be a big part of it. That's for sure. But obviously, we're going to host our portion of the Animals in Distress event again this year. That was fabulous because we are big. Did I mention big animal lovers?
Great.
And there are some other shelters and things that we've started to connect with too. So we want to give others opportunity. So I'd also, there's so many things on my mind that I would like to be doing, and I'm finding, that there are organizations out there that don't have a place to go. I'd love to do something for the veterans. I would love to host an event for them. And all I can say is just call us and ask, and we'll schedule it in. We certainly have the facility. I would what I look at futuristically and I see happening at the farm is exciting. We have actually, pretty sure we've got one wedding that's going to happen there this season.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't think Cuddy's in the wedding, though. I think we're going to keep him out of it. But
probably not going to go over real well.
Muddy footprints and white wedding dresses don't work too well.
That could be an issue. It would make for some fascinating wedding photos, if nothing else, though. So you've really got stuff going on all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get connected to the local art community, though, and do some juried art shows and things like that. So yeah, just stay tuned. There's stuff on board.
How hard is it for you? Because you're you're kind of out of the way. You're not on the Main Street, Route 100. You're not on 22. You're not on 78. You're what?
Yeah, you got to make an effort.
8-10 minutes off of Route 100. It's no big deal to get there, but nevertheless, you're 8-10 minutes off Route 100. How hard is it to get that word out there about you and other local businesses really right up and down your street?
Yeah, and that's all marketing, and so we're doing our best in what we can afford to do from an advertising perspective. We are starting to see growth on word of mouth, and we certainly use the social media as well. But, we kind of coined it, and we chatted about it last year, and hopefully we'll get it done this year. We've got this State Street mile of businesses that are all along State Street from Bear Creek. We've got Savage Farms. We've got
There's plenty of food to be had on State Street in Alberta. Let me just say that.
The Maple Grove Inn, Long Swamp Tavern, we've got Heirloom Restaurant. So there's all these businesses right along State Street. We all struggle with the same thing, even though as big as Bear Creek is. It's like I kind of know where it is. We're not hard to get to, and we want to make sure that when you come to visit, that we all have got something going on. So we're hoping that we can create kind of a State Street week where we all provide different specials during that week so people get to know us. But we also, when we host events at the farm, we bring in the local restaurants. So they're there, we have a different restaurant each time. They'll come in, and then they serve appetizers to kind of expose you to what they've got going on at their restaurants. So we've aligned with a lot of the local restaurants. We'd love to align with some of the local breweries and things like that too, and wineries. And it all takes time. But we're getting it done.
Final moments with Maureen Flowers of Kospia Farms. What do you want people to take away from what we just talked about for the last half hour or so? The Life is Better local slogan, the movement. What do you want people to keep in mind when they're thinking about going out and grabbing the credit card and making a purchase, and why local is better? Yeah,
it ties right into our community. It really empowers us as a community. If you're helping out a local business, you're helping out local, those employees of that business. In our case, you're helping out local artisans who are trying to find a place or a voice, or the voice of a local musician for that, as well. It's important. And I think we all have to dedicate a good portion of our time to do that, wherever that may be. And that's why, the logo that I created was, it kind of came to me as all of this stuff started to morph. But where I envision, I've got a lady up north, up in New England area, that has fallen in love with the logo, and because they've got the same things going on in their community. It's not just us here in Lehigh Valley; it's every community around the globe. And so, I'm going to try to work with other local towns and companies and retailers or whatever it may be to bring that logo through their merchandise or their services to promote that message as well.
Maureen, we're out of time. Great talking with you again. Great seeing you. Looking forward to seeing you a lot this summer. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Life is Better Local. Find out more about it. KospiaFarms.com. That's KOSPIA, KospiaFarms.com. For Maureen, it's Dan Holzman. Thanks for listening. We're back again next weekend.